Hello, this is Andrew Kennedy, and you are listening to Awaken Nation. You better wake up, papi and mommy, and they,
Ay,
them, they.
ay, coño. That
I
was the
go in there.
best
Okay.
introduction ever, my friend.
All
The
right, I'll do it one
very
more time.
best.
I'll do it.
All right, here we go. Roll the tape.
This is Andrew Kennedy, and you are listening to Awaken Nation with Brad Salas.
Wow.
A huge shift is taking place on planet Earth. People seem to be waking up. Tired of the way things used to be, they are creating something brand new and changing the world we live in. My name is Brad Salas, and I get to sit down with the next generation of idea makers, the disruptors, and the game changers. Everyday people, just like you and me, from all over, who are doing amazing things to Awakened Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a good friend on today. We are like brothers from another mother. It's just incredible to have Mr. Andrew Kennedy on Awakened Nation today. Hi, Andrew.
Hello, Bradley Z. Bradley.
Bradley. Where are you at today? Because you are a world traveler,
I
professional
am.
comedian. You're
Okay,
everywhere.
so
Where
I'm
are you?
everywhere. Recently divorced, so technically I'm homeless between gigs, but I am in Bridgeport right now. So, and I'm traveling the world on cruise ships most of the time, which is phenomenal. I just got back from Bermuda, one of my favorite destinations.
Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's the warm air, the beaches, all the great stuff.
And the scooters.
This is good. Yeah, you're not allowed to
Yes.
have a car on the
No,
island.
what's weird, what's great about Bermuda is tourism is how they make their money. And so you can't rent a car yourself. You have to be driven by somebody that's a local that drives you. So, but you can rent a scooter. That's the only thing you can do. But it's a beautiful island. There's
Yeah,
no poverty anywhere you go. It's just
yeah.
beautiful.
I've been to Aruba. I love it. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a real treat because Andrew is a professional stand-up comedian. He was born in Bogota, Colombia, from a Colombian mother and a British father. Yes, he has funny stories. Andrew grew up across Latin America and Asia, living in Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and Hong Kong. And yes, he speaks all those languages before he settled in Danbury, Connecticut. We're going to talk about this. My favorite line that you always did is, he's a Latino in disguise. The Caucasian glazing. But anyways, Andrew, by the way, had a CBS pilot starring Rita Moreno and John Ratzenberger from
Yes.
Cheers, if you remember. And I am just jazzed to have you on the show, my friend. Welcome to Awakened Nation.
I am excited too. We've been friends from the beginning,
I
the
know.
city from the beginning.
It's
So
since 98, I think
since
1998 at least.
1998, yes, going to sushi after sets and talking about stuff and yeah, we became friends a long time ago, and I'm so proud of what you've done with Awaken Nation. I remember when
Thanks.
you were starting, and now I don't know how many hundreds of episodes we're in,
Yeah.
and you finally called me.
You and I hit it off right away, probably because right outside of the New York Comedy Club, and ladies and gentlemen, this was back in the day when I was doing stand-up comedy. I left Wall Street, in a big C-level position to do stand-up comedy. Most people do the
Yeah.
opposite. I did this way. So you and I met, and we're hanging out outside of the New York Comedy Club there on 24th Street. And somebody like prompted us. I didn't know you did impersonations. I watched your set and I was like, wow, the impersonations you did do. I was like, whoa. And you and I got into a dueling Christopher Walken
We did.
thing, and we'll do it at the end, but it was hilarious.
That's how we
Everybody,
became friends. We're
yeah,
like, you
it
do
was like,
this too? Okay.
wow, it's crazy. So, Andrew has traveled all over the world, and I want to start with your story because the funniest part about this is how your parents met. You want to talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yeah. My mother's Colombian and 5 feet tall, and my father from England, and they met in Bogota when my father was selling Encyclopedia Britannicas in South America. Thank
Yeah.
you, because that's the appropriate response is, what were you thinking? I thought, where should I do this to make the most money? How about a non-English speaking continent? I was taught in Peru. They love that shit.
Do they speak English, Dad?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and then after a while of not selling anything, it's, they're not moving off the shelves as I thought. And yeah, but he actually met my mother. They went to a party in Bogota, and my mother didn't want to go to this party. And her friend asked her like 3 times, and finally she agreed. And my father went with an Egyptian secretary from the company he was working at. And he saw my mother, and he's in his mind, he tells the story, that's the one for me. Because that's where my dad, no, that's the one. He fell in love with her immediately. Took the Egyptian secretary back to where she was, and she was not happy about that, and got back just in time to see my mother and her sister getting into a cab. And he handed my mother a business card. Because only an Englishman could do. I cannot communicate with you in your native tongue, but I find you rather attractive.
Yeah.
Call me. And so she did, and they were married 3 months later. Soulmates.
You're kidding.
No, and I asked my dad, how did you know? And he's like, I didn't. It was blind luck. But they were soulmates. They were 3 months later, and it was the greatest marriage ever. Beaver Cleaver household. That's where I grew up in, literally.
That's
with
hilarious.
2 languages.
At least you had the universal sign of "call me."
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about all he could
Llámame, llámame.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird because my parents really didn't understand each other, and I joke about the fact that that's why they had children. We were created as interpreters.
Well, that's part of it too, but there was no other language except the language of love.
Yes, of course.
I don't understand you. Give me a kiss.
Yes, but I find you rather attractive. It's like, why are you always upset?
Would you like a back rub?
Oh, yeah, I really would. Thank you.
Tally ho.
So
I know your story really well, but so you're in Bogota, Colombia. You're born in Colombia, so you're
2
speaking
years lived there. Yes.
Yeah, so you're speaking Spanish. You're around Spanish speaking and
Yes.
English speaking. So you're growing up in a multicultural family. Then where did you move to next?
Then we moved to Puerto Rico for stability.
Hey,
And it was
pasteles.
pasteles.
Coquitos.
Listen, mofongo. My brother was born in Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico, so he is technically Boricua, and ironically, he's the one that looks like Ricky Martin. So this is the other thing I talk about, which is the fact that when you combine ethnicities, you don't know what you're going to get. You've got a small Colombian mother, taller white English guy, and my brothers and I all came out different. And he looks like Ricky Martin. I look like a heavier Ryan Seacrest. My older brother looks like Adele. Nothing makes sense. It doesn't at all.
You and I used to look so much alike that I showed up to see you at a club, Gotham Comedy Club, and you had just gotten off stage, and the crowd comes out, and this woman just starts talking to me, going, "You were terrific. You were great." And I looked at her because I had spiky hair too,
Yeah.
And I go, "I'm not Andrew. I'm a foot shorter than Andrew."
On stage, they don't know.
She just was like, "You were tremendous," and she's touching me. I'm just like,
you should have just taken it, just slap her
Of
5
course.
on the ship that I was recently on. I looked like the juggler, and 7 times people are like, "You're the juggler, right?" No, I am not the juggler. He was very good. It's not me. So yeah. So, but you're right. You and I have a similar look, and that's why I always have considered you a brother from another.
I know.
So yes.
Me too, my friend. Andrew and I remember one night we were in New York City, and he had like 7 or 8 gigs. He had to go to one comedy club, another comedy club, and we had just had enough time to sit down and have some sushi and talk about everything from relationships, his family, to conspiracy theories, and also watch you in action, because I went to every club, watched every set, and I was just so thoroughly impressed with your work. But I wanted to get back to your story, because everything hinges on your story. So after Puerto Rico, where did you move to?
Then we moved to Caracas, Venezuela. Don't go there now.
Yeah.
Yes. So Colombia, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and I was 6 years old when we moved to Venezuela, and I attended the British school. So again, I'm speaking Spanish and English all the time. So, which explains why I don't have an accent when I speak English. And I met who I thought was King Charles, Prince Charles at the time, but it wasn't. It was another British royal, and it wasn't him. And then after 3 years, we moved, of course, because we went from Colombia, Puerto Rico, Venezuela. Of course, we moved to Hong Kong. Like, that makes sense.
Makes total sense.
So, and you and I have talked a little bit about what my father did throughout, and I am not totally convinced he wasn't some secret MI6 operative or something, because we talked about how my father was worshipful master of multiple lodges, and I remember you're like, "Oh, Andrew, that's a big deal."
Yeah.
Look at the
Hello.
dollar. It's like
That's a grandmaster. What?
Illuminati. It's like,
Yeah.
and so I always, think, wouldn't it have been cool to have like that deathbed confession where he's just like, "Son, there's something I must confess to you." And
I killed Kennedy.
he killed Kennedy.
Yeah, it's like, I was
Oh my
hired.
God.
Yeah. Well, you
So-
the funniest part is when you do this in stand up, you're not making up anything. This is your life.
No, this
And
is my life.
you used to tell me, it was like, my dad would, I think he was getting fired a lot, and he
That's
and he
the whole
couldn't tell
thing, like horrifically. And the truth is, I do believe that, because he just didn't know how to play the business game. Because I remember when we were in Hong Kong, they had a meeting where they said no more giving cash to the different manufacturing companies in Southeast Asia to get them to make Sylvania light bulbs. And so he got the memorandum, and his boss asked him to grease the wheels in Singapore. And he said, "No, we were told specifically not to do that, so I refuse." And his boss is telling him, "Malcolm, do it." And he says something like, "Well, if you put it in writing, then I'll do it." It's like, who says that? He didn't understand how business works, where
Right.
you don't do that. So then
Yeah.
they ended up, after us living in Hong Kong for 2.5 years, putting him in a dead end job in Stamford, Connecticut, and that's how we ended up in New Canaan, Connecticut, which is where we ended up for the first time in the United States.
That's funny. Your dad
But I was
wanted your dad wanted the illegal transaction to be in writing.
Exactly. Well, put it in writing, and I'll do it.
Say,
Exactly.
you can say grease the wheels right there in paragraph number 2, subsection 3. Yeah.
in bold, in triplicate. Oh my God, yeah. So my dad he was just as honest as the day is long. He gave everybody a chance, even though, most people might not, and people gave him a chance. The fact
Yeah.
that he was, when he went to Colombia, he had no money. He stayed in a hotel that he had no money to pay for, and he went into a bank and asked the manager if he could have $500 like allowance, because he was receiving a job that he'd gotten hired to, and he wouldn't get paid for 2 weeks, and there was nothing on the writing for him to prove that. And the bank manager opened up a checking and gave him a credit of 500, the equivalent of $500 in pesos, Colombian pesos.
Wow.
And years later, they were friends for many, many years. And my mother tells a story about asking, "Why did you lend him that money?" And he said, "Because I've been a bank manager for years, and I can tell right off the bat when somebody walks in what they're about." And you could tell right from the beginning that this guy was honest, and he was speaking the truth.
Wow.
So he sized my father up, and he was right. And then my father paid back the 500, and they were friends for many years.
Wow. Yeah, banking was different back then. I'm in my
Yeah.
60s now, and I can tell you, you could walk in on a handshake. Farmers. I lived in a farming community. We had People's National Bank downtown, and our bank president was well known around the town. And yeah, on a handshake back in those days.
Not anymore.
This was, by the way, folks, this was before they had credit reports on you, and you had to check your
Sure.
credit. There was no such thing in the 60s and 70s, except for
Sure.
banks, maybe. So
And my father had been hired, and at that time it was they were doing things through telex. So
Oh, wow. Yeah.
so the company that he got hired by had to verify he was this electrical engineer that he claimed to be. So
Right.
it was going to take weeks, but they hired him, and so that's when he went to the bank, knowing that he had this job. But it was unbelievable. He's
Yeah.
still the smartest man I ever will know, and rest in peace. And he passed, ironically, like, you're not going to believe this, January 6th of 2021, and he was not at the Capitol. We don't do insurrections. We don't do that stuff. We try to quell them. So
we know, British guy.
I know. So I think in hindsight, he chose that day to shuffle off his mortal coil while nobody was looking because everybody was glued to what was happening in the States. Yeah.
Tally-ho, chop, chop.
I'm
So what does it
shedding
disturb
off.
you?
Don't look now. Look over there. Oh, there's stuff happening.
Peekaboo. I'm going. He's very British. Stiff upper lip.
Yes,
proper.
absolutely. I mean, when my son, his first grandchild was born, right? We're at the delivery room. Everybody's bawling their eyes out. We're all crying because Aiden was born. The most we could get out of my father was, "It's rather nostalgic to see your genetic lineage transcend in front of you." I'm like, "Dad, can you hug me? I love you, Dad. I reciprocate that feeling." So that's just how he was.
I feel the same, but no touching.
No touching. Don't touch me. So he was great.
God bless you. You have such great stories of your mom and dad.
I know.
You tell this wonderful story, and I laugh so hard every time. You talk about when your friends, when you finally moved to Connecticut, your friends would come over and they'd look at your dad kissing your mom, and they were like, "What?"
Yes, it was bad enough at home, but even when I was younger, my mother's is just, she looked like the maid. Let's just acknowledge what she looked like. Nobody ever thought she was my mother. And so they always thought she was an overly affectionate maid because she'd be hugging and kissing us. Right. But it would get weirder. We were out in public, like at the park, and my father met us at lunch because she'd hug and kiss him too. And I just remember all the nannies going, I know. She kissed the mister. I know. And that was my entire life. Nobody ever thought she was my mother. And over the course of years, with the way the world is now, and I'm doing cruise ships, as you know, I'm seeing more and more multi-ethnic families where it's not that weird to have these kids, and none of them look like each other, because when you combine ethnicities, you don't know how it's going to mix.
It's
so
true.
my biggest joke is my brothers and I came out completely different heights, hair color, eye color, skin tone, sexual orientation. We don't look like a family. You look at a photo, it looks like people just gathered at like a bus stop on a sunny day.
Are they waiting for the bus? They are very handsome. I wonder, could they be a family on some sitcom somewhere?
No, we're just friends.
Just friends. This is the funniest part about everything you talk about, because you moved to Danbury, Connecticut.
New Canaan, Connecticut.
New Canaan.
Yeah, New Canaan, Connecticut.
New Canaan, and you go to
which
school
is a
there.
snobby town. It's one of the richest towns in the country. It's ridiculous. And we lived in the shitty house in New Canaan. So the worst thing, other than moving into one of those wealthy places, is not living in one of those wealthy houses. So but we moved there.
But you went to high school. Now, for those of you listening online, Andrew looks like a Kennedy. Just want to let you know that he's white as can be, white hair, blue eyes. What are you, 6'2", something like that?
I used to be 6'1", and now as I'm in my late 50s, I'm maybe 6 feet, but I'm still.
Yeah.
Ask not what your country can do for your. Yeah, I'm definitely. When we go to the Cape, I throw down the credit card. I definitely look at them in the eye like a little bit, and they go, "Oh, really?" Because I totally could look like a Kennedy. Absolutely.
100%. But you speak Spanish with a local dialect.
Yes.
My favorite line you said is when they get your files at the school, they're like, "Oh, he's not all white." You want to tell it?
Yeah. I moved to New Canaan, Connecticut in 1980, the whitest town on the planet in 1980. I was the black kid at Sachs Middle School because I was half not white. That was enough to throw me over the hump. Even though I looked like all the other kids in New Canaan, I looked like that. But apparently they got a DNA sample from a potato chip during orientation, and they're like, my goodness, why I say? Because in New Canaan, they talk like their wires are shut. Yes. Mm-hmm. And now that we can say that, women from New Canaan can't provide oral pleasures to men. I'm just saying that because they're, so they looked at me like, you're not all white. You are a Latino with a Caucasian glazing. And so that was the ongoing joke, you know. So
That is funny.
nowadays, I feel like I could be a Latino in disguise. Like, I don't know. It just, I think I'm not really serving my full potential. I'm still waiting to get there because this is like a
Latinos
superpower.
in disguise.
really is.
Latinos in disguise roll out. Yeah.
Roll out.
Yeah. You also tell this story of, like you'll go into a Spanish bodega in Connecticut or somewhere and you speak perfect Spanish,
Yeah.
ordering coffee. Tell that one.
Yeah. Well, I'll look like the enemy because I look like the enemy. I mean,
Yeah.
a 50 middle-aged white dude and I could walk in a suit and they'll hate me. You could
Yeah.
feel it. They'll
Yep.
hate me. And then I'll walk up to the counter and I'll be like, mira, dame una taza de café sin leche, por favor. And they'll be like, oh, don't drink this one. We pissed on this one. Drink this one. Like now we're family because it changes everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So in COVID, when I stopped doing shows, as many of us did for 15 months, and I had to figure out something to do, I actually got hired by FedEx by accident because I hovered over the logo for too long. Apparently, there's an algorithm that tells if you hover over it for more than 8 seconds, you don't want the job that you needed. So at FedEx, I got hired. They're desperate. I'm not even in a full uniform. I'm in an unmarked van with wearing black boots, jeans, a FedEx vest, a little holster for my electric device, and a Dallas Cowboy hat. I look like ice, and I'm delivering in Danbury, Connecticut. So you know Danbury in Connecticut, and
Yeah.
my speaking in Spanish was the only way that I could deliver iPhones because they weren't coming out. And I'm like, no, Maria Gutierrez Lopez de la Vega, este es tu iPhone. Sí, you ordered this. Necesito tu firma. That's because I'm like unmarked white van pulls up in front of the house. They're not going to want to talk to me.
Yeah. It is such a funny world that you live in, and I understand it too because my exes have all been, from the Caribbean, so I'm used to going around and going, "Hey, here are my stepkids," and they're like, "What?" So Andrew, what made you
Yeah.
get into comedy? I never got this story. I don't think I ever got this story.
Yeah, I tell the story, and there's a dispute about it, but this is how I remember it. So I was in a community production of Grease, the musical.
Right.
And I showed up to the callback and beat the role of Kaniki from the director's son because I sang Grease Lightning and I just killed it.
Yeah.
So I got cast as Kaniki, and then I fell in love with this. I had this crush on this dancer, right? Emily Frangipani. I just had this thing about this.
Big shout out to Emily if you're listening.
Big Emily, yeah. I'm over it now, Emily. There's a long time, but at the time I was like, everything Emily. So, and she's an amazing, very talented dancer. But she had a crush on the guy playing Danny Zuko. And then I tell the story that Danny Zuko had a crush on me, but I since spoke to him and he says, no, it wasn't you, Andrew, it was somebody else. And so I was crushed because I always thought that it was, and it's a better story when you make it like that,
Yeah.
I like her, she likes him, he likes me. Nobody was happy. So yeah, that was a lifetime ago. It's just insane.
And then
So shout out to Larry. He's a great, been in the theater in the Tampa area in Florida ever since. And he's started his own theater company, and he's an amazing, very talented actor and singer. So shout out, Larry.
Big shout out, Larry. Thank you. So what made you get into comedy, though? I mean,
So the reason was I think I wanted to set myself apart on stage, and I thought stand-up would be a chance for me to perform by myself and it'd be more exciting. And that is how I got started. And then I fell in love with it. And then next thing you know, 2 years later, I'm going into the city and trying to get stage time at the New York Comedy Club, which we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
and I'd been hanging around, coming in from Connecticut every time. So going
I
in from
remember.
Connecticut and then driving back every evening. And then Al Martin was in the green room. Somebody didn't show up, and he said, "Hey, Kennedy, you want to go up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be nice." In my mind, I'm like, "Holy shit!" And it was a perfect New York audience, which is my favorite eclectic mix, and I killed it. And that's how it started for me in the city. And then it went to Gotham, and then it went. The comic strip was one of the last ones. The Cellar was. I got into the Cellar before the comic strip, and
Wow,
and
that's
yeah,
impressive.
believe
Yeah.
it or not, yeah. So
If you want to know what Al Martin was like, picture Danny DeVito in the TV series Taxi, except he's tall,
yes, big Danny
Jewish.
DeVito.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's got that crassness, but when you nail, he's okay. He doesn't show
Yeah.
too much emotion. He's like,
no,
good job, yeah. He was still
exactly.
like-
It was like, but if you were good, you got his respect, which is great.
yeah.
It was kind of like Patrice O'Neill, a comic that was like that. Like if he did not respect you, you knew it
Oh,
because he just
Patrice would come up to me in front of comedy clubs and shake my hand and ask me what was going on.
There you
Other
go.
comics would run up to him and try and talk to him, and he'd ignore them. Me,
No.
it's like, hey, what's up, boss? And
Yeah, yeah.
how is it tonight? And he'd be in that big Escalade,
yeah.
Uh,
Hey, it's
But
another
what-
one that was taken too soon. So many of them.
yeah, he was so good. One quick question. So did you take comedy classes or did you go?
No.
What did you do?
No, I just the Treehouse Comedy Club in Norwalk, Connecticut had an open mic night, and I went, and that's how I started. And then I would every Wednesday. The thing was, you'd have to ask 5 friends to come and support, and they had to buy a drink. And so
Yeah.
that's how we did it for a while. And it was open mic nights for forever. And then I met Amy Ambrosino, who was
Yep.
managing Derek Eason, and she saw something in me, and she's the one that kept me out of New York before I, shot
Was
my
ready.
load prematurely. And she said,
Yeah.
"Don't go in. You're not ready. You're not ready." And then boom, 2 years into it, then I went in, and then I was trying to do Montreal for years and years, and they didn't pick me. And then like 7 years into it, Montreal picks me to go to the Just for Laughs, but I was in a new category because I was no longer New Faces. I'd been around for a while. So it was called Masters, and it was for people that had been in, the circuit for a while, but had been overlooked for some reason. And they were more seasoned. And that's where I got the deal with CBS from the
Wow.
Masters. Yeah.
Wow.
Christopher Titus introduced me, and
Wow.
and I came so close,
Yeah.
And I got a deal from I got an offer from WB and CBS, and we went with CBS because it was a better network. It was going to be
Yeah.
a better show.
Yeah.
You can still watch it on my website, andrewkennedylive.com. You can watch the whole 22 minutes, and it just didn't go. They went with Jason Alexander's Listen Up and John Goodman's Center of the Universe.
Wow.
And
Your
c'est
show
la
would have
vie.
been your
That's life.
show would have been a breath of fresh air.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Real quick, I want to roll some of Andrew's best work here and roll the tape.
Let's hear it for Andrew Kennedy. Come on.
Yes, it's good to be here. This has got to be the best time ever to be a Latino in America. Right? Let me get more specific. This has got to be the best time ever to be a Latino that looks as white as I do in America. I know. Yes. Yo soy Latino. I know. I'm Latino. Look at me. I'm a Latino in disguise. I'm a new kind of Hispanic. Nobody in the current administration is concerned with me at all. I am half Colombian and half English, and I get it. I came out looking completely white. I look so white when I speak to other Latinos in Spanish, they answer me in English. Like it was a lucky guess. Mira, tú tienes un reloj, tú me puedes ayudar, tú tienes la hora. ¿Tú sabes qué hora es? Por favor. Yes, it is about... It is about 8:30 something. I don't know. Didn't I just speak to you in Spanish? You know what? Yes, I think you did. I thought it was a mistake. That's what a guy said to me once. A mistake with specific regional dialect? You know, I thought that was very weird because I say to myself, he even have a specific regional dialect. My mother is this 5-foot-tall Colombian woman, and my father's Mr. Magoo from England. That's, you know. And I'm the middle of 3 boys, the whitest, and because of it, my mother's favorite. Apparently, she's a racist. She's not a racist, obviously, but interesting things always happen when I was with her. Nobody ever thought I belonged to her. When I was a baby, my mother and I were separated at the Miami International Airport for 45 minutes while they figured out she hadn't abducted the white baby. Señora, do the parents of the Swedish baby you have here know you have the child? Señora, do the parents of the Swedish... And my mother's like, este es mi niño, dejen a mi peladito, por favor. Cariño, amor, déjenme. My father rolls in, unhands my progeny. This instant, you... I want to start a group called Latinos In Disguise for a Better America. I want to get other Hispanics that look as white as I do to get positions of power. I want to run for governor of Arizona just to mess with that state. And I can get elected. I clean up nice. I put a suit. My last name's Kennedy. That's what we do. Kennedys get elected. That is our Jimmy Jam. They'll introduce me as the new governor of Arizona, never expecting me to say que todos los mexicanos que quieran venir aquí por gratis, que vengan allá en el Rancho Grande, allá donde vivía. Look at that white boy talking Spanish. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. It's my time. Thank you.
You know what makes you so endearing, and it's amazing. For those of you who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew travels all over the world. He's been on Telemundo, Univision. He's performed everywhere. And what it is that's funny about you is you don't write jokes. This is your life.
It's my life. It's just tell you my life.
Yeah, it's like, and I think that's the trajectory of most comedians. They start out in the beginning. You didn't have to do this, but most comedians are writing, well, let me think of something funny to say. And this goes on for 4 years. And they struggle and they struggle. And if they stay in the game, the next 4 years, they start finding themselves and just saying, you know what, screw it. I'm going to just tell what I want to tell. And if it's funny, I think it's funny. And then they become introspective, and now they just start to see comedy in every part of their own life.
Sure. It takes so many years to feel comfortable enough to then peel layers off yourself and share your true story. And share is we're all up and coming comedians. Don't sell, share. Because when you sell your comedy, you're giving the audience an option to buy it. And if they don't laugh, that means they didn't buy it. But if you share it, whatever the reaction is the one it was meant to be. You take the pressure off yourself.
True. It's so true.
I remember
I did this for 8 years, stand-up comedy professionally. I've opened for Lisa Lampanelli, Tom Rhodes. I had a week at the Baltimore Comedy Factory. And I got to tell you, it has really helped me immensely as a keynote speaker, because I jump off the stage and I do what is called crowd work. And my favorite thing is to make people laugh, then bring back the corporate lesson. Boom, make them laugh, bring it back. And I noticed something, that when you've done your work in comedy and you've done it 1,000 times, you've been on that stage 10,000 hours, as Anders Ericsson says, for mastery. I started to notice I'll hit a punchline, but I don't care if they don't laugh. And I keep moving to the next one. I hit another punchline. And then there's that happy accident on stage where you say something you didn't plan to say, and they go crazy. You get an applause break. That's where you want to be. You know, it's called unconscious competence, where you're in the flow, you're doing
I
your
didn't know
act.
there was a name for it. That's great, but that's exactly where you want to be, where you just you have no care and you don't second guess yourself, because sometimes you might have a thought of something hysterical, but the minute you think about it, the moment's gone. So you just say it, which it produces all these happy moments.
It does. It really does. Andrew has mentioned his CBS pilot that was filmed, and I'm going to show an excerpt from it. And basically, it is his family dynamic put on the screen. That's all it is. And here we go. Once again, roll the tape.
Okay.
Oh, goody. All our parents are here.
Come on, it'll be fun. Like a roller coaster. That's broken.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Qué gusto de verte. Te ves regio.
Gracias. Where's Dad?
He's parking the car. I was so excited I got out while it was still moving. Oh, and there she is, my beautiful daughter-in-law. Oh, look at these. My grandson must have quite an appetite.
Mom, could you please stop doing that?
What?
Fondling my wife's breasts.
I wasn't. Bite your tongue.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Hey, looking well, son. Oh, hello, Amy.
Hi, Malcolm.
How was your flight?
Oh, quite good, except we had one of those perky stewards who try to make idle banter. It's an aeroplane, not a talk show.
Yoo-hoo! Hello there.
Kathy.
We were worried you wouldn't come.
Why wouldn't we come?
Oh, I don't know. Things happen. Plans change. The important thing is, here you are. Hello.
Malcolm!
Ben, it's such a pleasure to see you. That's a surprise. Thank you.
Louisa,
Hello.
you look even lovelier than the last time I saw you.
Oh.
Doesn't she, Kathy?
Yes, yes. I love your handbag.
Where did Baxter go?
Who?
Baxter!
What's this?
It's a dog. It's for the baby. Picked him up at the local shelter.
Dad, you don't bring people dogs.
That's what I told him.
Come. Every boy needs a dog. It teaches loyalty, stability.
Dad, we can't have a dog. We're still trying to figure out Ian.
Oh, kids are simple. All they want are three things: food, sleep, and cartoons. Did I say candy? 4 things. And toys.
Oh.
Be sure to wash your hands afterwards. Dogs' heads are filthy.
Actually, it's ferrets' heads that are filthy.
They say you could eat off a dog's head. And I've done it.
Louisa, come, let me show you the latest batch of photos of my grandson.
Our grandson.
Oh, of course. So easy to forget.
Actually, Mom, I'm sure Malcolm and Louisa would love to get settled.
Yes.
Yeah, let me help you with your bags. Dad, what's in here?
Medicated creams and lotions. Oh, didn't I mention the dog is allergic to his own hair?
I was astounded that didn't get picked up simply because
Me too.
Ratzenberger, he came right off of Cheers.
Yes.
He was a commodity, including Rita Moreno, to get her.
They were all-star casts. And Ann Gilbert, Julia Duffy, and Krista Miller was in Scrubs. And an all-star cast. So the thing is, with Les Moonves was he was known as a star. You can bleep it out. Fuck. So the shows had to be about a star. And here was my pilot, which was about a nobody surrounded with an all-star cast.
Right.
And to this day, I do believe if John Cleese had said yes, because we wanted him to play my father, he would have been, that's my dad, John Cleese. And he just wasn't available for any TV. He wasn't doing any TV, and it would have been brilliant. But still, if you watch, I'm telling you, watch the episode.
That would be hilarious.
It's under extras and at AndrewKennedyLive.com. You'll, even 20 years later, you'll still laugh. You will still laugh.
Well, I could just picture John Cleese going, Andrew, you know, Andrew.
This is unimaginable. How
this
dare
is a
you?
silly walk. You're walking silly.
The dog is allergic to itself. How ridiculous.
The parrot is asleep.
Because there was a dog. Oh, this is the other thing. In the Kiss of Death, we had a dog named Baxter, and he was a bull mastiff. And the company that provided the dog for us said, we've never been involved in any show that hasn't been picked up.
Oh, shit.
Kiss of Death.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you obviously, but it's like going into a hospital and going, it's quiet here. Then it isn't. So that was the Kiss of Death. That's
like a surgeon coming in to do a heart, you know, help clear out the arteries, and he says, "This is my first one." Yeah, that's kind of what. You don't say that. Shut up.
No, well, what they said was they've always, all the shows, every animal they've had has been picked up, and this was the first one. It didn't. Wow. So they were batting 1,000.
Wow.
With the animals, monkeys, dogs, parrots, whatever, they all got picked up, whatever animal. This time it didn't. And Baxter was a dog that was allergic to its own hair, which is, I think, is hysterical.
That's hilarious. Which would have been a funny gag for the show.
Yes.
Well, I'm disappointed that it didn't get picked up.
Me too.
But Andrew is hilarious in person. And you know what's unusual about you is you're the same person off stage as you are on stage. You know, you have a singular wit. And when you look about, you can see comedy in everyday life, which is what I love about you. Most comedians are miserable in real life.
Oh yeah, they are. I'm glad about not being that way. But I'm also not on.
Yeah.
Like I'm on stage, you know. So I'm a normal person, just like you are.
Yeah.
You know, when you're performing and presenting, it's a heightened version of yourself.
Yeah, just
some people keep it when they get off stage, and that can be kind of annoying when they're just on.
What's up?
Yeah, what's going on? What are you guys doing?
Now, my favorite is the white guy with the fake voice. He figured out when he was like 10 or 12 and his voice started to change, and he decided to create this amazing announcer voice.
Oh, God.
And now they're in their 30s and 40s. It's like, hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you. And you're like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? They don't know they're doing it. That's the funny part. They don't know they made up a voice. It's like an affectation.
Sure. They're just trying. And so, yeah, we're all normal people, and we're lucky to do this for a living. I pinch myself every time I go on a cruise ship thinking, this is what I'm doing for a living, you know?
Yeah. If you've been on a cruise ship, you've probably seen Andrew. Or
you've been on a cruise ship that I've performed on.
Yes. Well, okay, that's
two.
better English. You are British, after all. Real quickly. This was probably, and I know you, this is why this touched my heart. They did a documentary about you a few years ago where you went down to Bogota, Colombia. Colombia.
Where when I walk down the streets, they look at me and they're like, hey, mister, like yo soy colombiano también. Yo soy colombiano como tú.
Yeah.
So.
What was interesting is they asked you to do your act in Spanish for the first time in your life. And you were very, very kind of nervous about it because you didn't know if you were going to hit. And I'm like, you can do it, man. You can do it. You know, I'm yelling at the screen.
I know.
Saying, you can do it. You can do it. You know,
you can do it, Andrew.
Yeah. So
I was nervous, very nervous. And then the guy that introduced me in Spanish, he says, he's never done this before. And hopefully he doesn't shit the bed. Like, thanks, dude. Like,
thank you.
All that pressure, and then it ended up going the way it did, which was great. So, but that was what do you call it? That was a monkey I got off my back, because I feel really good about doing that, and now I know I can do it, and I've done it since when Hurricane Maria, or as we say, Maria, hit Puerto Rico, and we were the first ship, Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas, I think, went back, and we were delivering generators and water and picking up about 2,000 abuelitos and abuelitas, old people that they had to get off the island.
Right.
So, and they were going to get a free cruise back to Florida, and I did a show solely in Spanish, and that was after I had done the Back Home episode on Fusion Network, and so it was just another chance to get it done, and I can do about 25 minutes solely in Spanish, which is pretty good.
That's
and Carmen
fantastical.
Lynch does entire sets in Spanish.
You're kidding.
No, and I knew she spoke Spanish back in the day, but she's turned it into a thing, and she's really successful at it. And I think I've got to try to figure out how to jump on that.
You should, because I remember Carmen in New York City. I always thought she was, white, because she, I saw her. I thought maybe she's Italian. Carmen is also an Italian name.
Yeah, no, she speaks fluent Spanish.
And then she's crushing it by just embracing her natural, this is who I am. And I think that's the most important part about comedy. Don't hide behind, this facade, this fake thing. Just be yourself, man. Yeah. And you're a shining example of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to show a little bit of the documentary, and then we're just going to do what we do best. Roll the tape. Here's the documentary. Andrew doing his act in Colombia in Spanish for the very first.
What's going to happen?
It is very exciting, my friends. Roll the tape.
Kennedy, and I'm a comedian.
Comedy Central presents Andrew Kennedy. Nick Mom Night Out will be back with more from Andrew Kennedy.
Don't worry, Gretchen. I've got you safely in my grasp.
Mom, could you please stop doing that? The christening isn't until tomorrow. That gives us all night to figure it out.
Uh-oh.
You got that right.
Breaking news.
I'm Piers Morgan,
who has tracked down the talented Mr. Kennedy.
Here with Andrew Kennedy.
Aquí está, Andrew Kennedy.
I always joke around about being completely Latino in a white disguise.
Raised in South America, fluent in Spanish. And I look so white that when I speak in Spanish to Latinos, they answer me in English. That's the weirdest thing. Tú tienes un reloj, tú me puedes decir qué hora es. Tú tienes el tiempo, ¿qué hora es? Yes, it is about.
What I talked about, looking like a gringo.
I've always been my mother's favorite, and I finally figured out why, because I was the whitest of her children. Apparently she's a racist. To the parents of the Swedish baby, you have their child.
So my parents met in Colombia. I was born, my brother was born. We went from there to Puerto Rico, to Venezuela, to Hong Kong, the United States, back to Venezuela.
I literally grew up around the world because my father kept getting fired a lot.
And back to the United States, all by the time I was 13 years old. New Canaan, Connecticut, very white town. One of the richest, snobbiest towns you could imagine.
The whitest town on the planet. I know because I was the black kid at Sachs Middle School. That's how white this town was. Mr. Kennedy. That's how they talk in New Canaan, Connecticut. It's like they wired their jaws shut at birth. Apparently there is a glitch in your DNA, yeah? You're not all white. You are a Latino with some type of Caucasian glazing.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Este es un espacio que propone una escena más alternativa. Digamos que un poco la propuesta de mi carrera es construir personajes y alrededor de eso todo un universo musical y escénico.
Entonces cuando tú te presentas, no eres
Natalia Bedoya,
nunca,
sí, también,
siempre.
claro.
También, ok.
También. Digamos que sí, Soy uno de mis mejores
De todos,
personajes.
sí, mejor. El que más me gusta soy yo.
Exactamente.
De regreso a mi tierra volví a mis lares, cabalgando a lomo de mis lejanos recuerdos.
Yo tengo un principio y es que siento que la música es infinita para quedarse en un solo género. Y que si hay la posibilidad del teatro y puedes inventarte todos los personajes posibles para experimentar aún más géneros musicales, pues ¿por qué no?
Hola Andrew,
¿Cómo estás,
bienvenido a Colombia. O sea, mire, está bien, yo sé que ustedes pueden sentir celos, pero ¡cortarle el pene! En ese momento estamos en Usaquén. Sí. Usaquén es como uno de los sitios emblemáticos en Bogotá. Acá le decimos mucho gomelo, ¿sí?
¿Qué es gomelo?
O sea, gomelo es como el estatus.
Ok.
O sea, digamos, de esos rolos así, créditos y toda esa vaina. No sé cómo le dirán en Estados Unidos, pero a la clase alta, digamos. Si no lo sabías, en Usaquén, digamos que como es un sitio que concentra mucha gente y todo eso, hay unos tipos, no sé si lo hacen en Estados Unidos, que hay unos tipos que les decimos los cuenteros. Entonces los cuenteros acá...
Storytellers, sí.
Exacto. Entonces digamos que acá los cuenteros también lo hacen en la calle. Y allí hay unas escaleritas donde la gente se sienta, el cuentero empieza a charlar, todo eso. Y digamos que el cuentero acá es como el principio del stand-up comedy.
Marca.
La forma de hacerlo era pararse ahí y arranque. Entonces digamos que eso daba mucho miedo. O sea, pararte en la calle sin público es miedo. Digamos, si tú haces stand-up comedy en un bar, la gente está sentada. Ahí te está esperando. Entonces va a haber un comediante, te está esperando. Pero acá, ¿qué?
Eso es, how would you say, terrifying? What he did is got to be the hardest thing you could possibly do. Do comedy for people that didn't even know there was going to be comedy. They're just walking from one place to the next, going through a park, and he has to grab their attention, keep them there, and keep adding to those numbers. En los Estados Unidos, uno empieza, porque hay clubs por todos lados, en una noche donde no venden tiquetes y te piden que un comediante traiga 5 amigos, 5 a 10. De ahí formas la audiencia.
Acá no es como en Estados Unidos, acá no hay clubs de comedia.
That ability is something that is hard to come by, and I never had to do that.
La calle a mí me permitió como comediante desenvolverme. Te hace muy vivaz, digamos lo que el comediante necesita, o sea, el repentismo.
That's what separates a good comic from a great comic. Somebody that in every performance leaves a piece of them on stage.
Mira, es que en la televisión, por ejemplo, yo te cuento, te censuran esas 3 cosas: religión, política y sexo. O sea, tú tienes censura...
¿Qué más hay, verdad? No.
Es que en ese país muere gente por eso, digamos.
Ok,
¿sí?
entiendo
La
eso.
gente, digamos, acá el ambiente es muy pesado. Si ves que tú hablas mucho de algo, te atacan. Acá la gente quiere es que tú le caigas bien. Entonces, si no hablas bien de, por ejemplo, de los católicos, ay, ¿qué le pasa? Y te insultan y te tratan mal. Todavía es como muy, o sea, el comediante es el payasito.
Y de pronto lo matan.
No, en serio, eso es un problema acá y la gente se indigna, acá se indignan por todo se indignan.
Since I'm a storyteller talking about my life, it's all like a therapeutic, organic session that is never the same. There are some comics that'll say the exact same word every time they perform. And for me, even though I talk about the same things, I get to them each time a different way. And it all depends on the audience. So it's that connection with the audience and that feeling of leaving part of your soul. And it's great. It's why I do it. And I get paid doing it, which is fantastic. I don't want to rush you, but it's about time for me to get ready to do some stand-up in Spanish in Colombia.
Este señor va a hacer acá hoy es de guerreros, va a hacer comedia en español, es la segunda vez en su vida que lo hace, la primera vez que lo hizo la cagó.
Quiero que reciban de verdad con un fuerte aplauso como se merece el señor Andrew Kennedy.
Tú ves una foto de mi familia y piensas que es como un grupo de gente en la parada de bus. La gente dice, ¿son amigos tuyos? Sí, porque son mi familia, estúpido. Sí, yo pensé que era raro que tomaba fotos con la niñera. No es la niñera, esa es mi mamá. Un continente que habla español, perfecto. Conoció a mi mamá, es la verdad. Y yo siempre he sido el favorito, y yo sé por qué, y ella lo niega, pero es porque yo era el más blanquito de los niños que tuvo. Y es racista mi mamá, aparentemente es racista. Gracias. What just happened was insane. I will tell you right now that I had, faith that it was going to go well, but I wasn't totally sure. And what happened out there was making me want to come back. Sí, yo pensé que era raro que tomaba fotos con la niñera. No es la niñera, esa es mi mamá. It's a new chapter for me, because I'm not going to let this go. Agradecido, muchas gracias. Gracias, Iván. Thank you. Gracias. I didn't know that I would actually find so much more than just doing a show and seeing the places where I was and meeting some new people and talking about theater, talking about music, talking about comedy. I didn't know that I would actually find a place where I feel like I could actually be home again. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to do this. I really feel
It was awesome. That man was
Thank
really.
goodness.
That
Pulled
was
it off.
That was touching. I have to admit that was touching to watch you do that.
Thank you.
But it's so relatable, man. I mean, it really is. I think if anybody understands mixed families, it's in the Latino community.
Yeah.
And they're cracking up.
I know.
Yeah, and you look like a novela star. So
I could be Maria, no te quiero.
Coño, Maria.
No me touch, Diego, no me touch.
I'll never forget landing in Aruba, and I get to my buddies and I. We get to our place we're staying, and immediately I put on the TV, and I'm looking at everything's in Spanish. Go figure.
Oh my God!
And guess what? The thing that I just loved was I watched while we were there the whole time Star Trek in Spanish. So it was like Coño Bones.
That's got to be hilarious.
Coño Bones.
Yeah.
It's like,
everything's in Spanish now. I heard NFL simulcast in Spanish for the first time last year, and I was dying.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes tiene el balón, se lo pasa a Pacheco, Pacheco está corriendo a los 30, a los 20, a los 10. Touchdown, Kansas City Chiefs. Because that's how you say Kansas City Chiefs in Spanish.
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs.
It's hilarious because they have to move from soccer now to football.
Yeah.
It is a football or football. Because, ladies and gentlemen, they don't call it soccer in the rest of the world. They call it football.
Oh, my God. I had seen NFL in German once, and that was hysterical. I think it was the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is interception. Josh Allen passing, but it's running. Oh, schnell. And
it's the Blitzkrieg.
Oh my God. German is a funny and harsh sounding language.
Yeah, it is.
I love you in German is Ich liebe dich.
It is the language of love. Klaus, you're so romantic.
When you say it like that, how could a gal say no? Ich liebe dich.
I grew up in Pennsylvania, so we had a lot of German descendants to Pennsylvania Dutch. So yeah, it's like "Comesse," which means come eat.
Oh wow!
Do I really want to eat there?
And yet, there's some cool words like butterfly in German is Schmetterling. Ooh, isn't that cute? Schmetterling.
Schmetterling.
Look how it flutters and flies. Fly away, Schmetterling. Flutter away.
Would you like a back rub? Yes, Frau Blucher. Yes.
Can you believe talking about Young Frankenstein?
Yes. What about it?
Nobody is alive that was in that movie Mel Brooks directed it. The first movie he hadn't written.
Yeah,
Gene Wilder
yeah.
wrote it, but they're all gone. Everyone.
It's
Horace
astounding to me.
Leachman, Gene Wilder,
even the horses.
Terry Gard. The horses, they were the first ones to go. They turned into glue.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that is one of my favorite Mel Brooks movies of all time.
A great movie.
I got my nephew to watch it when he was little. And I came back the following weekend. I didn't know if he had watched it or not. And he comes in the room and he just is like, Abby someone.
Abby someone.
Now, there's a joke in the movie that a lot of people don't get. And I got it because my family being Hungarian, I'm sitting in the theater and he's on the train heading to New York. And then he's on another train heading to Transylvania. So the first train, there's a wife in the seats next to him, behind him, and she's going, why do you have to hang out with the neighbor's wife? Why do you have to say hello? She was there. I didn't do anything, So then he gets to Transylvania, and it's the same argument with a different couple in Hungarian.
Oh my God. And you understood it.
And I'm the only one in the theater laughing, and I realized they didn't know what they were saying because he's doing the same hand gesture.
Same thing.
I was rolling laughing. But Andrew and I are well known for impersonations. And my favorite thing that you did is you used to do the contract at the end of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, God, yes. I used to do a bit where Sprint used to be a company. It's gone now. And they overcharged. They charged me like $450 for something that I didn't sign up for. And I do a joke about the fact that their contracts are all written in size 3 font hieroglyphics. And I'm arguing with this woman, and she's saying, no, Mr. Kennedy, in page 14, if you split it into 2 pages, you'll find the microfiche. And clearly, in Gaelic, it states, and she's yelling at me like Grandpa, like Willy Wonka was yelling at Grandpa Joe.
You're a mean man.
Yes, it states quite clearly that I, the undersigned, shall relinquish all rights, privileges, and licenses herein contained, etc., Fax mentis incendia glora culpum. It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You bumped into the fizzy lifting drinking machine, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. and I just loved Gene Wilder was my favorite comedic actor, Oh, destiny. That is what I want, and oh, mama, and he's gone, and it's terrible. And I loved him.
He was incredible. Him and Richard
He
Pryor
was my
together.
boyfriend.
Yeah. Him and Gene, him and Richard Pryor together were magic.
God, yes.
I mean, they did 5 movies together in a row.
They did.
So
they were
if
hysterical.
you're a baby boomer, you're cracking up because you remember all of these.
And if you're not, you're like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Like Encyclopedia Britannicas. I do that with millennials, and they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know.
They don't know what a pencil looks like.
I know. It's insane. But you and I did dueling Christopher Walken's one night, and it was kind of like, it's crazy, Andrew, to watch your career. Wow.
It is. It's startling if you think about it. The way, so did I tell you that Christopher Walken story that my friend that used to work for UPS?
No. What?
So the Walkens live in Weston, Connecticut, and my friend, a UPS driver, would deliver to the Walkens all the time, and he always wanted to meet Christopher Walken. He's like, I hope I meet him. I hope I meet him one day. And every time he'd go, it would be the same thing. The garage bay would open halfway, and he'd hear this voice saying, place the packages inside the garage and step away. Thank you. And so this went on for like months, and he's like, I'm never going to meet him. I'm never going to meet him. But this time he needed a signature. So he knocked at the front door, and he's going to meet Christopher Walken. and it's drizzling, and the door opens, and it's Christopher Walken.
No shit.
Yes. And he's like, normally I ask the guys to place the package inside the garage, close the door. It's the way it works for me. And so he opens the door, and the only thing that Christopher Walken says to my friend as he's signing is, fucking rain. That's the only thing he ever said to him. And then closes the door. And that was the one time that he met him. And Christopher Walken is just one of those, he's just so cool. It's just.
I don't think he's seen sunlight in 40 years.
No, I've heard that, I've heard that there's an odor about it. There's a thing. He's older now, you know. I'm not as felt.
I don't believe in deodorant. It's a waste of money.
Yes.
I mean, I believe like the French do. Why mess up a beautiful thing? Humans are supposed to smell.
Yes, that's how we communicate with one another.
Like humans, it's crazy to think you cover that up.
Why would you? Please. When I was young, I danced. I used to be a dancer. That's what my first career was, dancing. Then I got into acting.
Now, if those of you are listening and you're watching on video, this is something I notice about Walken. He leads with his lower teeth, and you're doing it.
Yes, because
that's the only way.
So when you watch him in any movie, tell me if there isn't a moment in every movie he's ever done where he looks like he's telling himself a joke and laughing at it. In every movie, he's like,
there's an
wow, yes. So for those of you that are listening, can't really comprehend, but if you're watching it on the video, it happens.
It's crazy. He also plants himself, which is
weird.
But you do a lot of impersonations. What other impersonations would you say?
Yeah, the ex-president who's aged quite gracefully, Bill Clinton. I love it. I love it. I love it. I do Bernie Sanders as a ship captain.
Oh my God, do it.
And why should the captain decide what port of call to go to? Why should less than 1% of the people aboard this ship decide what port of call to go to? I'm going to start a revolution? Will you, the passengers, decide what port of call to go to? How much power do we need? 1.21 gigawatts. You know, it just be.
That's funny.
And Barack Obama on the loudspeaker. Now, folks, there have been some complaints about the long lines in the pool bar. Michelle and I have put together a task force where we're going to find out why Karen can't find her flip-flops. If you know where Karen's flip-flops are, go to guest services and let us know. Don't boo, just go.
We used to do Schwarzenegger too. It was like, I pick up my sword. Yeah.
And I put it down.
Yes. Screw you, Crom.
My first joke was, what was Arnold Schwarzenegger's first job? And that was my first joke in stand-up. And it was paper or plastic. Would you like a groceries in a paper or plastic bag, please? Put them down. I'm asking you nicely. Don't do this.
You know, it's funny. Somebody saw him and said, there's a movie star.
Yes. What I want to know is, how is his accent worse now than when he did Conan the Barbarian 50 years ago? Like, he sounds the same.
I tell a friend of mine who is obsessed with Schwarzenegger, and his whole attitude is, you know, he had discipline and all this. I said,
yes.
The guy's second movie was with Sally Fields. Don't tell me it was because he was a great actor or whatever. That's about who you know. That's connections.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yes.
you know, you don't rise. Your third movie is Conan the Barbarian. You have somebody who owes favors to your family is what it is.
Walter Matthau had the greatest quote about show business, which is when he was asked, so how do you become an overnight star?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, it's very easy. You just need 50 lucky breaks, all happening perfect sequence. It's so random how many talented actors and actresses, musicians,
comedians
that we know, comedians that we know that are not known to most people. And it's luck of the draw. And of course, desire. You have to have a drive. That goes without saying. You have to have talent. But there's so many people we'll never hear of, and you know, and therein lies the rub.
I was thinking about this the other day because I was talking to a good friend of mine who's a comedian, and he was having a struggle, and I kept thinking to myself, what happened to Buddy Bolton? You know, what happened to these
Yes.
guys that,
Oh my
you know,
God, you're right.
were around when you and I were around? Even Tom Rhodes, although he's traveling and doing shows.
Tom Rhodes did make it. Yeah,
He made it big, but then he
it
kind
big.
of stepped back a little bit.
Buddy
He became
Bolton,
more
you're right.
international. Yeah.
And then Kevin Henley,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
who was brilliant, and then never quite, and it's all right. I mean, but like it's really a club. It's not even you can't even call it an occupation. That's how few people are making a good living at it.
Yeah.
So
I bowed out because I realized that, you know, it's like, imagine going to college for 8 years and then not knowing if you're going to get a job. That's what
but you have so many other skills. What I saw with you personally, yeah, sure, you could have done it if you kept at it. But the gift is this knowledge that you have in business and your ability to do these keynote speeches. But now you have the added thing that sets you apart from everybody else is that you're hysterical and you can do what you say, which is break up the room and get them to laugh, disarm them, and then go back to now what we're teaching the class without them even realizing it's happening. And that's the true gift, when they don't even realize they're being taught something because they're disarmed through comedy. So that's why I think it's amazing what you've done, and I'm so proud of you. You know
Thanks,
that.
brother. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Deserved.
Ladies and gentlemen, please reach out to Andrew. Your website's andrewkennedylive.com.
Yes, andrewkennedylive.com, and on Instagram, it's Andrew Kennedy, it's Andrew Kennedy.
And he's a clean comedian, just so you know. So he's great for corporate events. He's Spanish speaking as well. And also and Mandarin. You might want to try your act in Mandarin.
Yeah.
Going back to Hong Kong.
I can say my address in Cantonese from when we lived in Hong Kong, which is 20號公路到半山. How is it that my eyes get round when I speak Cantonese?
I know, it's hilarious.
And there's always going to be people looking to see if there are any Chinese people in the audience. And they'll be like, oh no, he missed the intonation. He that's wrong.
He didn't do it right. Yeah.
Because in Cantonese and in Mandarin, in Chinese, every word can be said 7 different ways, and it means 7 different things by your intonation.
Same with Hungarian.
Hi. One of those is yes. The other one is vagina.
Yeah.
Good luck. It's one of those highs. You know, it's like
it's like Hungarian. They say Mandarin and Hungarian are the hardest languages to learn.
Absolutely.
You have to live amongst the people to understand that the inflection it can mean one thing if you say, hey, have a good evening, or go F yourself. You know, it's one or the other, and you're like,
no,
what?
I'm serious.
One's an insult. Because, you know, it's like being a smartass to somebody and like saying, good luck, my friend, or going, good luck. You know,
and
it's that difference.
In Chinese, how we Americans say hi, that is a word that means yes or vagina, and not the nice way to say vagina.
Oh,
and it's just you saying hi. So you can imagine Americans going hi, and you might just be calling somebody that word. Oh, that guy, nasty.
He
Don't talk to
dirty
that
man,
guy.
dirty white boy.
Yeah, dirty white guy. Don't talk to him.
Yeah, it's sort of like in French, for pushing, they say pousser. So it has sort of a double entendre there. And they also say for a woman's vagina, they say slang is poupée, which means puppet or plaything. Plaything, which is cute.
Understandable. You play with it.
Yes, I play with it.
If you're allowed, if it's
Quite
consensual.
frequently.
If it's consensual, of course. You and I, we look at life, and I learn your perspective through things you sent me. So you kind of open my eyes to stuff. And I've always been considered myself a liberal, but before this last election, things just went just too far.
Yeah.
To the left, to the point where I was at a corporate event where I was going to be performing after dessert, and I wanted to get a cup of coffee to get energy. And I asked the waitress if I may have a cup of coffee. And she said, how do you take it? And I said, black, please. And she looked at me like I ordered segregation on the side.
Yeah.
For ordering a cup of coffee the way we've always ordered it when it doesn't have milk. And so she says, oh no, we say plain now. We take our coffee plain.
Wow.
You know, it doesn't make any sense because you know that racism is in the intent. And I just wanted a cup of coffee with no
Yeah,
with no
100%.
milk, like it's always been. In Spanish, you call it negro.
Yeah.
Or
Black.
tinto, which literally means colored. You don't say, dame una taza de café sin leche, por favor, leche, no quiero leche. Oh, negro? No, plain.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't
anymore.
make any
Yeah,
sense.
we're getting out of hand. I remember reading a book years ago, or I didn't read it. I just browsed at what the premise was, and that is they want all negative language. They call this violent language removed from our vocabulary. So we can't do descriptions. We can't actually talk to each other.
No.
You know, and what is it? Harrison Bergeron is a story that Kurt Vonnegut wrote years ago where these two ballet dancers, they had their eyes covered and they had weights on because they didn't want the rest of the population to feel bad that they were the best ballet dancers in the world. And at one point they said, screw this. And they took off all the weights and the goggles and they started dancing. And the police came in to not only arrest them, but kill them on live TV. And we're getting there.
God. We're getting there.
We're getting there. It's insane.
Like color, like everything has to go through the filter of what people are uncomfortable with, like a color. The colored coffee's been without milk forever. And I talk about, you know, pretty soon you can't call a car red because Native Americans are going to be offended, or you can't say yellow because the Chinese will. So Crayola is going to have to come out with a new line of colors called emotionally safe shades, where black is now absence of light and red is indigenous passion. You know, and yellow is golden dynasty because it's insane. It's gone insane.
Fake news, I'm telling you. It's the
Fake
greatest.
news is
It's
not
the greatest
good.
news. Rosie O'Donnell will have her own Crayola crayon someday.
And think about this. When you think about like the way minorities think about themselves, Latinos, we think we're white people. So much so, that's why we all voted for Trump. And now all the Latinos are like, ¿qué pasó con abuelita? Yeah, she went to see the movie Charlotte's Web and put a tattoo, some pig, and now she's going to El Salvador. Because she's got a web.
Back.
She's
Send
got
that
a
pig
spider
back.
web with some pig on it. You know?
Send that pig back to El Salvador. It's the greatest. They shot me, Andrew. They shot me. But
oh my gosh.
But I recovered. I was like Neo in the Matrix. I dodged it. Dodged the bullet.
Came back.
I shot him. The cameras turned, but I shot him. Yeah, it was funny. So,
talk about timing. My God, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? So
Andrew
once that
Kennedy.
happened, I said, I think he's going to get elected.
It's going to get elected. We knew it. Andrew Kennedy, the greatest.
Right.
He's the greatest comedian ever.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, please reach out to Andrew. AndrewKennedyLive.com.
Thank you.
And we're going to go into the lightning round. I am,
oh boy,
dude, we're having so much fun right now.
We are. We're having a good time.
So my first question, and this
Uh-oh.
is the question I ask everybody just about,
What?
and that is, with your mom and dad, what's your favorite memory?
Oh, that's with my mother and father. My favorite memory was when we were living in Hong Kong and I had gotten arrested. Not arrested. I had stolen a pack of Hubba Bubba bubble gum and they brought me back to the apartment and my father did not belt me. That's my favorite memory. He's like, he forgave me. Oh, son, you made a mistake. Yeah, there's so many good memories. As a child, it's hard to pick just one. It really is. Living in Puerto Rico with my brothers, Halloween, my mother always made us costumes, and one Halloween she made these amazing costumes as us dressed as devils, and my aunt, she got our hair to look like afros because we're in Puerto Rico, and there's a picture of that. And that's one of my favorite memories, was going trick-or-treating with an afro, with a blonde afro in Puerto Rico. Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico.
Well, here's the funniest part. Andrew has a love affair with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory simply because when he was a kid, he looked exactly like Charlie Bucket.
Wait, I've got to do this for the viewers. I have a picture of myself around the age of what Charlie Bucket was, and you tell me if I don't look just like him. All right.
This is Andrew. He looks exactly like Charlie Bucket. You know, I
Should've
got a
been me.
golden ticket. It's ours, Charlie. I've got a golden sun up in the sky. Yeah.
Let him have one last dream.
Yes.
I want it more.
It was
I know
hilarious.
it's not right. I want it more than all of them.
I want it now.
Veruca, sweetheart, angel. Oh, peace and harmony. That's what works with children. Brilliant lines all along.
It is Gene Wilder made that whole movie.
He did.
Nobody
and
else
here's the
could
thing
play
with
that.
Gene Wilder and making that movie, and he needed to do this or he wouldn't make the movie. So when he first comes out, when they're greeting all the winners, and he walks out with his cane, just walking, and everybody thinks he's a cripple, and then he puts the cane down in that one spot and then does a front roll and then stands up like, hey, I'm fine, kids. He had that happen because he knew that from that point on, nobody would ever know whether he was being truthful or kidding.
Yeah.
Because he was quite a lot of sarcasm. I mean, there's a lot of darkness in that character. And he always kept us wondering, are the kids going to be okay? Or did that guy just die? He just went up to shoot.
The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, I remember that line.
No, stop, please, help, police.
No,
Oh.
stop, don't. Yeah. He did that with a top hat on because when he popped up, he tilted it.
Yes.
Which meant he kept it on after he did the flip, which is
That's
no
a good
easy feat.
noticeable thing. Yes.
Yeah, I
That's
love that movie.
I didn't pick that up. I didn't pick up on that. You're right. He still had the hat.
Yes.
Which you would not have had if he did it.
Yes.
Normally.
Second question I have for you. What is your proudest moment? And this could be anything. It could be your kids being born.
So everything. There are many of those moments, but I have one in particular, which was, it's going to be a long answer, but it's well worth it. So we lived in Connecticut. 2008 hit. We couldn't afford the house that we bought at the peak of the market, declared bankruptcy. In an effort to save a marriage that was unsavable, we moved to California. And this was a few years later after we declared bankruptcy. And this was 2012. And the town that we moved from was Newtown, Connecticut. And the school that all my kids attended was Sandy Hook Elementary. So we moved from Sandy Hook Elementary, took the kids out June of 2012. And you all know what happened December 14th, 2012, Sandy Hook shooting. We were in California. So my daughter would have been in one of those first grade classes. So she was in kindergarten the year before. She lost 18 of her kindergarten classmates from the year before. So we lived 4 years in California and moved back to Connecticut, divorced, because we had both sets of families to help support us. And my kids had played football in Newtown when they were little, and they played football in California. And in Newtown, they resumed playing football. And on the 7th year anniversary of the Sandy Hook shooting, December 14 of 2019, my sons won the state football championship against Darien on that day. And I remember the score. There were 3.5 seconds left in the game, and I believe the score was tied, and we were going to go into overtime. And with 3.5 seconds left, there was the fog cleared, and we threw a touchdown and won the game against a team that came to the championship knowing they were going to win. So that's my proudest moment. Was I rang that bell with my eyes closed for I can't even remember how long when my son Aiden won the state football championship in 2019. Wow. And he got a full ride scholarship to UNH from that season. So
he's a big kid. And
he's a big kid
when he was little, and now he's a man. He
is. And and now he's shredded down to, now he's all shredded. So he's not playing football anymore, and he's not 300 pounds anymore. So now he's just shredded and enjoying life, and he's going to be going into the police academy in August.
Nice. Mini-me, huh? Yeah.
Not mini-me, because he was huge.
I remember.
Literally.
I saw the pictures. I was like, holy moly, what are you feeding this kid?
No,
Steak every day?
I'm 6 feet tall, almost 200 pounds. When he picks me up, I look like an American Girl doll in the arms of a 9-year-old child.
It's like,
Daddy down. Daddy down.
You're so cute, Daddy. Let me pick you up.
It's ridiculous.
I know.
Drop me.
It's you drop me now, young man.
You son of a gun.
Yeah, it's It's American food supply, by the way, filled with chemicals and growth hormones.
Right? No, it's all natural. He does not do steroids, none of that stuff.
All natural.
But yeah,
It's the greatest.
but all our kids are bigger than we were before, and it has to be the steroids in the beef and
Oh my
all
God.
that. You know it does.
It is.
So
It
I'm
is.
glad they're getting rid of all the petroleum-based colors. That's a great thing.
That is.
Should have.
Well, Andrew, when I was a kid, they said that the red dye number whatever was killing people. 40 was killing people. So they just kept doing
They've
it.
known. They
it's
kept doing
known.
it, and they showed a picture of what Fruit Loops looks like in Canada and what Fruit Loops looks like in the States. And yes, it's not as bright in Canada, but it also doesn't kill you. And in the States, it's like neon.
I know.
You know, how
My
bright do you need the colors to be?
My third and final question.
Tell me.
is,
All right.
Your mom's still alive, correct?
She is.
Oh, God bless.
Thank God.
Is there anything you wanted to say to your dad that you felt you didn't say?
Oh wow, that's a tough one. For all the things that I put my parents through when I was an adolescent, and I put them through a lot until I joined the National Guard, went to basic training, and it straightened me out. So I would just like to say to my father, I am sorry. And I know that he'd say, it's all right, son. You turned into a wonderful young man. So yes, I would like to apologize for all the shit I did as a kid. And there was a lot.
Son, the feeling is received. Please don't touch
Yes.
me, please.
The feeling, I reciprocate that feeling. The feeling is mutual. My father, this is another example of my father. He would make it as difficult for you to understand him as possible. He would tell people he had arthritis by saying, I cannot articulate my digits as I once could in my youth. That's how he told people he had arthritis. I cannot articulate my digits. Stop it.
My favorite story that you tell about your dad, and please tell it, is when he got pulled over by the police.
Oh my God, yes. My father my parents, both of them got pulled over in Palm Coast, Florida. And in the middle of getting the ticket, my father politely disagreed with the policeman and just drove away. Like you can do it. Like it's a debate. And if you prove your point, you're free to turn your left turn signal on and shush the cop out of the way. We agree to disagree. Good day, sir. And just drove. And they didn't chase my parents at first because it was like he glamored the police officer.
Yeah.
We aren't the droids you're looking for. Like, what happened? But then they're like, I think he ran away. So they chased my parents for 3 miles at 35 miles an hour while he's trying to wave them around. Like he thinks they go around. I'm all the way
Officer
to
Smythe.
Yes, Officer Smythe. I'm all the way to the right, like you like it here. And then got pulled over, and so he got pulled over for the second time. And you know what he did after being pulled over twice? He corrected the cop's grammar, and my mother captured the whole thing on her camera because she thought it was hilarious. I told you, papi, don't do it. Pero tu papi is loco, and he could go for coco poop, he do anyway. So there is footage of my father telling a police officer, you're not bringing me to jail, you're taking me. So that's it. That's the joke. You're taking me to prison.
I don't believe you're using that colloquialism properly. Yeah. Funny stories.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Kennedy, AndrewKennedyLive.com. Brother, thank you so much.
I love you. I love you, Bradley Z.
I love you too,
Bradley
man.
Z, I love you.
Yeah, thank you, my friend.
We never
Love
even
you
got
too.
into the Scots accents that we
Oh,
always
there you
did.
go.
Oh,
You look a wee bit Scottish, but you got to grow it a little more. You're wearing
I like
the kilt.
that. Oh, that's great.
Let
Oh,
your dirty laundry just, wave in the wind.
oh
there.
God. Well, bless you. Congratulations. I love you. And thank you for having me on Awakened Nation.
Oh, dude, thank you. Hey, everybody. Tune in next week. We're going to have a really great guest here on Awakened Nation. Please subscribe, comment, and please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It's how we survive. It's how we put this show together. And thank you once again. Until then, bye-bye for now. And bye-bye. See you, Andrew.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for being a big part of the Awakened Nation movement. This is how you can help me and our extraordinary guests.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe and share this episode out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And let's grow this movement by word of mouth. Our success is because of you. Thank you, and see you next week.